Well, President Yoon and his Conservatives hope to win a majority in Parliament because for 2 years now they've been having to work with a Parliament that has overwhelmingly a majority that's controlled by the opposition party. And whilst presidents in Korea wield arguably far more power than parliamentarians, the Blue House, if it had a majority in Parliament, would be able to push through its agenda and its policy far more easily. What's at stake then is Yoon becoming a lame duck with 3 more years left of his single-term mandate. And the president has so many domestic issues to deal with. Firstly, the economy isn't doing so well. There's slow growth and persistent inflation, a cost of living crisis, if you will. There have been some shocking numbers that really, that voters can really feel in their own pockets. For example, the price of apples going up 90% in March year on year. And then we have the doctors' strike. President Yoon has wanted to increase the number of medical school students, that intake, in order to increase, in the end, the number of doctors in South Korea to meet demand. Overall, the general public seems to agree with the president's idea. Doctors don't. They've been on strike for 6 weeks now, though. But the way the government has been dealing with this, well, that has been more open to debate. Because the strike has been dragging on for so long, services and hospitals up and down the country have been affected, and many people are asking for compromise, for negotiations to be found as soon as possible. Finally, this vote is also a referendum on President Yoon Suk-yeol and on the leader of the opposition party, Jae-myung. Both men have been dealing with scandal after scandal. South Korean politics polarized as ever, with President Yoon's supporters demanding that opposition leader Lee be locked up in prison, and Lee's supporters wanting Yoon to be impeached.
And there's also a potential kingmaker who has thrown his hat into the ring. Can you tell us more?
Well, what's really interesting with the election this year is the emergence of a last-minute political party just weeks before this election, created by a disgraced former Justice Minister. Jo-guk served very briefly under President Moon Jae-in. His family has been embroiled in an academic fraud scandal involving his children. His wife even spent time behind bars. And the prosecutor who led the charge was none other than the current president, Yoon Suk-yeol. Now, Jo-guk is back in politics with his new party that only seems to have one particular policy goal in mind at the moment, that is to remove President Yoon from office. For example, their slogan is simply 3 years is too long, in reference to the time the president has left in the Blue House. Other than this, we don't know much about their vision. We do know that they will surely align with the traditional Democratic Party in a parliament should they win the number of seats that they have been projected to win. The question, though, is will Joe manage to simply tear away votes from the Democratic Party, or will he also attract jaded voters, the undecided, the people who had been fed up with the rivalry between the current president and the leader of the opposition party? Because these are the types of people who could really decide on the makeup of the incoming 300-seat legislature. All of that said, though, it's not a given to say that the public would prefer one rivalry over another, and there has been a lot of political mess, political drama, whilst the cost of living crisis still drags on.
Thank you very much for that, Yenna.